Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Northern Soul Reaper and today I'm going to be continuing my review series for So I'm a Spider, So What by taking a look at Volume 8. Now before I get into the review, I just want to say that I've had a few comments come up now and then about spoilers and that people would like me to go a bit more in depth into the series. And it's a funny one because, you know, we're up to Volume 8 now, so anyone who is watching this video with kind of a mind to see whether they want to read this volume knows a lot of what has happened in the previous 7 volumes. But still, I want to keep these reviews spoiler light, you know, as little spoilers as possible for the actual volume, because someone could still be wanting to know whether they should pick up the volume and I don't want to just go spoiling everything that happens. So what I'm going to do is probably when the series is finished or when I'm all caught up maybe is do a couple of other videos on the series and talk about plot details in a bit more detail, and that's kind of the compromise there. So hopefully you enjoy these reviews as they are, but do know that I am looking to do a few more in-depth videos on the series, maybe look at characters and plot elements. So that's just to get that out of the way. I also want to say that I'm quickly approaching 500 subscribers. Last check it was at about 480 and this is absolutely amazing. I say it every time, but I just, you know, I really appreciate all of the support. It's amazing to think that there's so many people out there who enjoy these videos. If you aren't yet subscribed, it would be amazing if you would consider doing so, and yeah, continuing to like the videos as well really helps. Subscribing to the channel will really let me know that you enjoy what I'm doing, and it really helps to grow and support the channel. So thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far as well. So with all that out of the way, let's get right on with the video. So I'm a Spider, So What Volume 8, like Volume 7, has its story take place entirely in one location and timeline for the most part. And the immediate story of White and the Demon Lord deals with the ramifications of the last volume, mainly that White has been deified as the result of consuming an enormous amount of MA energy in order to save herself, her friends, and the world from total annihilation. Now, being a god might sound like the absolute ideal outcome for someone who started off as a tiny, insignificant spider monster and battled their way up the food chain, gaining numerous skills along the way, turning into an arachne, basically becoming a badass. It might seem that being a god is the end goal. Well, it turns out that it might not be all it's cracked up to be. White now finds herself completely locked out of the skill system as a result of her deification. The skill system being the underlying rules that govern the power of people in this world. She's totally locked out of that system. White finds herself completely unable to use any of her stats and skills, none whatsoever. So while she spent numerous volumes painstakingly building up her speed, strength and attack skills, as well as numerous physical and mental traits, she can't use any of them. She can't even stand up on her own because her legs are too weak and human. Now I say human because in addition to losing all of her skills, the deification process has removed her arachne body and has replaced it with a completely fully human body. To put it bluntly, she is absolutely useless. She can't contribute anything to the group in her current state, to the point where she is just a total drain and burden on the rest of the party as they make their way towards the demon territory. Now this volume doesn't just focus on White and her uselessness. We also get some chapters from the perspective of an ogre, and this is a character that we've met a few volumes ago. It's none other than Kyoya Sasajima. This volume serves as a little bit of an origin story for him as we see him in his goblin village as it is attacked, and we find him now on a rampage against some humans, and this rampage takes him right onto a collision course with none other than White and her party. And I'm sure that in her full powered up state with all of her skills, White would have no problem dispatching this ogre, but as she's completely deified and useless, it's up to her friends to defeat this new threat. Volume 7 didn't really give us many chapters from other characters' perspectives, but Volume 8 does. We get chapters from White, the ogre, and even Master Rodant's perspective. Volume 7 dealt with the UFO attack and the grand team up to save the world from annihilation. But Volume 8 expands its scope a little bit. We get those chapters from other characters' perspectives to give us a bit more context for the story, and it actually felt like previous volumes where we had a few more chapters from other characters thrown into the mix, and I actually enjoyed it for that reason. It's been 2 years since the UFO attack, and the Demon Lord and her companions are now very close to the demon territory. The latest complication is that the path through the Mystic Mountains, the final hurdle before the demon territory, has been closed off due to the appearance of a new and dangerous monster. I wonder who that could be. I really enjoyed how this volume explores White's deification and her total lack of power. It would have been really easy for the author to power her up beyond any other character when she became a god, but I like that this story's taken a different approach and we're getting a story where she doesn't have that overall power anymore. The fact that White has been deified and lost all of her skills actually leads to a lot of comedic moments as she adjusts to her new way of life as a shut-in who cannot take care of herself. And she is basically relying on others for help, which is something that White has never done. She's always taken care of herself. I have no doubt that White will eventually overcome this uselessness. In fact, having seen her in the present day in previous volumes, we know that she gets her powers back in some form or another, whether she gets access to the skill system or whether she just manages to exploit her godhood. It remains to be seen, but we do know that she gets her powers back in some capacity, so we know that that's coming. But it is fun to see this new kind of back to basics, no powers White. I liked the background that we got on the ogre character in this volume. I enjoyed seeing how his worldview from his past life as a human and how that was completely twisted by his treatment in this world. It's quite a tragic story for Sasajima. He went from being an amiable young man who often stuck up for his friends, and I fear that by the end of this volume there's very little humanity left in him. Now, he isn't a member of the Demon Lord's party at the end of this volume, something that we know is coming, or at least he's an ally of them. So we know that there's more story to come, but I enjoyed where his story went in this volume and where it ended up for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses as future volumes move on with the story as well. A lot of the action sequences come from the ogre chapters in this volume, and it was fun to see a fighting style completely unlike anything we've seen from White, the Demon Lord, or the vampires thus far. Sasajima has the ability to create weapons from nothing using his MP, and this informs a lot of the way that he attacks. Sasajima's fighting style is very feral and brutal. He goes in for the kill in close combat, but he also uses some magic swords with explosive abilities to set traps or to just throw them at enemies and they explode. And he also wields some incredibly powerful magic weapons of his own to fight in close combat. Sasajima uses one of the 7 deadly sins skills, and once again we are reminded how dangerous these can be, both to people on the receiving end of it and also to the users themselves. Overall, I really enjoyed volume 8 of So I'm a Spider, So What. It is another solid volume of this series, and I know I say this every time, but each volume just builds upon the last, making a great interconnected story with so many layers and so much detail. This volume once again has fantastic artwork from Tsukasa Kiryu with some great, well, the cover is absolutely amazing as usual, and it has some great single page artwork as well, and as always we get some great artwork at the beginning of the volume as well. So yeah, the artwork continues to be amazing as well, and it really complements this series. I think that part of the reason why the payoff in these volumes is so great and rewarding is the way that the story was presented in earlier volumes. Rather than having a linear timeline, it chose to show us some past tense and present tense chapters, and the payoff in these volumes is made all the better from having those chapters. So that's my review for So I'm a Spider, So What Volume 8, another absolutely fantastic volume of this series, and really looking forward to seeing where things go with Volume 9 and then 10 and 11, which I've also got to read as well. If you like this video, remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. As I said at the top of the video, it really helps the channel out and lets me know that you're enjoying what I'm doing. And if you could share this channel with your friends who are interested in anime, manga and light novels, that would really mean a lot as well. It would be really awesome if we could hit 500 subscribers soon, and I feel like we're getting ever closer to that goal. So thank you to everyone who's supported the channel so far. That's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Northern Soul Reaper, and until next time, goodbye.